Episode 227, Ironman 70.3 Pucon with Andreas Sauma. Welcome to the pursuit of the perfect race. I'm Coach Terry Wilson, and with each episode, I bring stories of athletes to you that share their experiences at races in order for you to learn how to have your perfect race. We'll hear stories from athletes of all ages, abilities, and races of all distances. So regardless of where you fit in, there's something in it for you. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Now let the pursuit begin. Hey everybody, welcome back to the pursuit of the perfect race. Today I'm talking with Andreas Sauma about his recent race at Ironman 70.3 Pucon, which took place on January 13th, 2019 with a chilly water temperature, and the temperature rose from 59 to 82 that day. He had a great time of 4 hours, 46 minutes, and 19 seconds. Andreas, welcome to the show. I look forward to talking about your race, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, you're welcome. So, what made you want to do this race in the first place?
It's one of the epic races here in Chile and South America. It has a long history. So for many years, it has been the only race we have 70.3 here in Chile, and I guess everyone who is involved in triathlon wants to do this race sometime.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big ass volcano in the background.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. It has, besides the volcano, the lake, it's really a beautiful city. It's a small town, but when it is in summertime, so it's full of people. It's in vacation time here, and it's a very nice place, not only for racing but also for sightseeing and doing some other stuff. So it's a very cool place.
Wow. So how far away from the race city do you live?
Well, I live in Santiago, which is in the capital, and we are like 900 kilometers from Pucon. You need to take, you can go there by plane or drive. If you drive, it's going to be a long day of driving. It's like 11 hours of driving. And if you take the plane, it's you need to stop a nearby city airport, and that takes like 1 hour and a half or less. I mean, it's like 1 hour flight. And then you need to take a van or a bus or rent a car, and it's another hour. So if you take the plane option, it's like 2 hours from Santiago. If you take it by car or bus from Santiago, it's a long trip, usually 9-11 hours.
Wow. So what's the closest airport to Pucon?
It's called Temuco. That's the city that has the closest airport to Pucon. Pucon has a small airport. It used to be operating, but nowadays they close it down. I don't know why. Maybe because it was too small. So now the only option by air is flying to Temuco and then taking a van or a car or whatever to Pucon.
Do you know the airport code, like the 3-letter airport code for that?
Let me check. I have that information. It should be Temuco.
Because I wouldn't even know how to spell that, to be completely honest.
I know. Don't worry. Yeah. It's ZCO.
ZCO?
Yeah, like zebra, Charles, and O.
Okay, so ZCO. Okay, cool. All right, so you took the flight up there and then just got a rental car?
I took the bus. That's very cheap. They They pick you up in the airport, and then you take the bus. It's like maybe $15, and then it takes like 1 hour and 15 minutes to the downtown of the city. I don't travel with my bike. You can do it, but they charge you when you take the flights nowadays. Before they didn't charge. So because there are some bike stores in Santiago that offer the service of taking your bike to the race and to the expo, and you pick up the bike at the expo, and when you finish the race, you leave the bike at the expo and then take it back to Santiago. So it's very convenient if you want to travel without the bike, and it's along the years, because I've done this race many times, I find that it's the best way to do it.
Wow. So I know you've been to Kona, and I know you have a history in the sport. You've been to Kona twice, actually. So you have a really good understanding of how to train and all of this. What kind of plan did you use going into this race?
Well, I have a coach who lives in New Zealand. His name is Armando Galarraga. He actually is he's married to Joan Alon. You know the legend, Joan Alon, who won many times Ironman New Zealand, and I guess she was like top 10 in Kona as a professional, also a few times. And he's my coach for 2 years ago for this race, because we trained for Kona. I had a pretty solid year of training. I didn't have, I had the volume, I mean, we did a lot of intensity work, for the last 40 days coming to the race. And we focused on, basically on improving my cycling.
Okay. So going into this race, what was your longest swim, bike, and run workouts?
Well, I guess my longest swim was around 4,500 meters. My longest bike around 150K. My run, I guess, around 25K.
Okay. So going above the distances.
Yeah.
Okay. So as far as your training goes, were you doing a lot of bricks in training? No. Actually, well, my coach has his approach to training is, easy days are easy and hard days are hard. So basically, when we want to make it easy, we don't stop. We just take active recovery. Probably we do some, when it's light, we do some swims. He usually makes me swim and take the rest of the day, just one session, and it's probably light. But we don't stop too much. Maybe for this race, into this race, I guess it was like 1 or 2 days, spread 2 days of no training, but that's really rare. Right. So what about the sessions that gave you the confidence to go into this race prepared? I know you were coming off of Kona, you had the volume, but what did you do that led you to go into this race going, yeah, I can do this?
We wanted to aim for a podium finish. It was really hard because all the guys in my age group are very competitive. Actually, my age group is faster than the younger guys from the previous age group. So they are very strong cyclists. So we worked on my bike, and we did some VO2 max hard workouts to improve my FTP. And 2 weeks before the race, we did some key workouts with long intervals to see where I could take my bike, and if I could hold my FTP where I wanted it to be. So it definitely gave me the confidence on that workout 2 weeks prior to the race. I felt very strong on the bike.
Good. So as far as your training goes, are you doing any gym work or strength training?
I usually do 2 times a week. This year, I started to do something different. I started to do some trail hills. I mean, going to the hills and do some more of climbing hills instead of doing some gym workouts. And I found that helped me a lot because it makes you work on balance. It makes you work on strength. You have to run up. You have to run down, work muscle groups. So I think it was also a different approach, but it gave me the strength. I don't know if it was too different from what I did on the gym. I still do the gym, but I enjoy a lot more going to climb a hill.
Right. Now, with all this training that you're doing, what was the most hours you trained in a week going into this race?
Around 18, 20 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, with all of this training, did you miss any training?
I have some flexibility on my work. I am independent. I have my own company, so I basically work on the afternoons. So I have all morning to train. I'm very lucky. And no, I haven't. If I'm not sick, I probably won't skip any workouts. I try to do all what we have in plan, you know?
Right. So with all of your training, being that you're training a lot, were there any days where you just didn't want to train?
Yeah, there are days where I feel more, tired, and sometimes we have a very good communication between me and my coach, and when I feel that I'm not fully capable of doing a particular workout, we will discuss it and we will see if we make some changes. Maybe not always. He always wants to push me, and but not always. I mean, he also listens a lot to what I'm feeling, so it's very important. And with the years, I have learned also to listen more what I'm feeling and with my body, and that has kept me away from injuries also.
Okay. So as volume increases, how do you and your coach mitigate the risk of getting injured? Aside from just open communication and with the plan itself, how are y'all increasing intensity, increasing volume without increasing the risk of getting injured?
But, I have some history with some injury. I have a chronic injury in my left ankle. So what I basically did to avoid injuries, and this is more with running. I guess running is the from the 3 sports is the one that makes you most injured. What I do is I train, I would say 80% on treadmill. I go for the hard roads only for break workouts, and I do basically all my long runs. I do them on treadmill and avoid the concrete, because it's really painful for me when I run on concrete, and I try to keep the concrete for the races and for specific workouts and specific sessions, and try to avoid it a lot. Wow. And actually, I've heard from many people nowadays, like, Uh, well, many pros are more into using the treadmill as Sanders, for example, works a lot in indoors. And in my case, it's because of this injury that I have that I try to avoid the concrete, and it has worked wonders for me. And I think last year I didn't have any injuries, so it has worked very well for me.
Wow. So with your training going into this race, you were coming off of Kona. I'm sure you took a little bit of time off there, recovered, and then got back into training going into this race. What was your taper like going into this race?
The taper actually started just 1 week before the race, and we cut on volume a lot. We kept the intensity, but very short sessions. For the three sports, we cut on volume almost, I don't know, very short sessions, but we kept the intensity or even a little higher, just to keep it, active and making the proper stimulus, to get to the race.
Okay. So, as far as your travel to the race, you said it took you like 11 hours to get there?
No. I took the flight option.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you were taking the bus because you mentioned a bus,
No.
But I guess the bus was from the airport?
Yeah.
Okay.
The bus from the airport, it takes you 1 hour and a half, and before that you need to take the plane to Temuco. It's 1 hour, so it's I would say 3 hours from Santiago to Pucon.
Okay. So whenever you got to the race venue, I know this isn't your first time doing the race, so this is more of like a hometown feel for you. But
Right.
What was the atmosphere there like whenever you got off the plane and you got down to the race venue?
Oh, it's great. I mean, the town is full of people for vacation, for summer, full of athletes, training. It's a very nice atmosphere. It's a nice town, small town, and it's perfect for racing. Spectator friendly, and the course is very beautiful because you have the lake, you have the volcano. It's always around the background, so it's very beautiful. Even for me, that I have done this race so many years, it's still amazing to see the backgrounds when you're riding the bike or when you're running.
Wow. So as far as where did you stay at? Like your lodging in Pucon, did you get like an Airbnb? Do they have Airbnbs there?
Yeah, they have many options. You need to book ahead of time if you want something more special. Because I only go for the race and the next maybe stay one more day. I just booked something simple, something not very expensive. This in the downtown. It was like 3 blocks from Transition area.
Oh wow!
So it was, yeah, and it was really close to everything. So I guess my experience within the years have helped me with making everything more smooth. So, but if you want to stay, they have many options, big hotels. They have Airbnb. They have many options. So, but you need to book ahead of time because it's high season for vacations. So whenever you decide to go to this race, you need to check. And also this race has a high demand. So if you want to race, you need to sign up really quickly because
it sells out.
Yeah, it sells out very fast.
Okay. So as far as the check-in process to get all your stuff from the athlete briefing and all the swag and all that stuff, your chip, how is this process for you?
It's very easy. They have all the things at the expo. It's not a very big place, but they have everything very organized. They speak English, they speak Spanish, they help you with everything. So it's very easy, and they make sure that every athlete is happy with with everything they give you at the registration.
Awesome. So as far as the stuff that you got from the expo, did you buy anything special?
Not really. When I come to this race or any race, I try to bring everything with me, except the CO2 cartridges. You get them in the expo. But they have many booths with big brands of the usual stuff for everything. If you miss something, you're certainly going to find it in the expo. And it's very, they have everything. I mean, it won't, if you miss something, you'll find it there.
Nice. So as far as your workouts before the race, what was the last workout you did before the race? Did you get your bike and take it out for a spin to make sure everything was good?
Yeah, sure. Actually, the race is on Sunday, and my coach has this approach of doing a very short workout on Saturday before the bike check-in. So we swim, then we bike short, and then we run. But it's very short, just to test everything and keep the body active. So yes, I checked everything and make sure everything is working properly. That the DI2 is charged, that the power meter is working, and the shifts are, working properly. Also, this year I had this. I had some trouble with my coin cell of my power meter, and I always travel with an extra one, and so I had it in hand when I noticed that I wasn't reading the power meter. So
really?
It was, yeah. That was like 3 days before the race, and the battery cell died. So I got to have my battery to replace it.
Wow. So as far as your process of laying everything out the day before the race, checking everything in, is this a clean transition race where you have to put things in certain places, or are you able to get to everything the morning of? What is this like?
This race has evolved because before it was a must start for the swim, and the transition was a simple setup, but the race has got to a level where it's really massive. Before they have 2 loops for the bike leg. Now they have only one, just to make it more safe, because the number of athletes now has increased a lot. And now we have around 2,000 athletes, and on race day probably around 1,700. So they had to improve the transition area. They had to work on making it smooth. And since last year, they did some very good job. They arranged a parking lot that's 2 blocks from the beach. So they arrange everything over there. It's very clean. You have a zone for the to leave your stuff for the bike. Then you have a zone to leave your stuff for the run. But it's all very easy to see. It's all very well signed. So it's very smooth, and it works perfectly. There's a lot of people are volunteers help you to make the process easy.
Nice. So as far as the check-in process for the bike, how was that? Pretty easy? Simple? Just go in there, drop it off the day before?
Yeah, they You have to go with your bib number. You have a certain schedule that you have to go there and leave your bike on a certain time.
So almost like Kona.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So they when you get to the place, to the parking lot, they are waiting for you. They take a picture of you, take a picture of your bike, make sure security is very tight there. They make sure that nothing gets, steal. So they take a picture of you and your equipment, and they have one volunteer take you to your place. He explains everything. He takes all the time you need to answer any questions you have. It's very friendly. I would say it's almost perfect.
Wow. So even with the volunteers, it's just like modeled off of Kona.
Right.
I mean, because there's not that many races that do that.
Yeah, it's it's a very important race here in Chile. This one is an epic race. It's been for many years, even before the Ironman franchise. Many legends did this race before. Mark Allen, Lisa Bentley. Many guys come here. Lindsey Corbin. So it's a very popular race in an exotic place, I guess. And they call him here in Chile. This race is known like to be the most beautiful race in the world.
Wow.
And they do try to keep it in that standard. So they work very hard to make the quality of the race and every detail well. So it's a very important race here in Chile.
Nice. So you check your bike in. What is your nutrition like? Are you wanting to get a certain meal in the day before the race? Are you making sure you get a certain amount of hydration in the day before the race? What does this look like?
I have, two different approaches. For some races, I do a carb loading, just before the race, 2 days before the race or week. Some other times I do the opposite. I make the depletion of carbs, 5 days before the race, and coming into the race 2 days before, then I do carb loading. I have tried both protocols, and this time I did the loading 2 days before the race because I wanted to get more fit for this race and more lean, and it certainly worked very good for me.
Wow. So as far as your day before the race, you get everything done with your nutrition, you're about to head to bed. What time do you want to go to bed, and what time are you wanting to get up?
The transition, I guess, opens around 6:30 in the morning, and I was really close to transition, so I woke up like at 6:30. I went to bed around 11. Not very early, actually.
Really?
But yeah, because the night before I had some meeting with some friends that I didn't see for so many years, and time flew, and we were so relaxed, and we saw our watches. Oh my God, it's late. So, but generally speaking, I don't sleep too much. I guess between 6 and 8 hours is what I sleep normally. Before the race, normally I don't sleep too much, but in this case, I sleep very well. I had a very good, I guess 6 hours was enough for me. So I felt very well, very relaxed and rested.
Nice. So you get up on race morning. Before you leave where you're sleeping at, What is your race day morning ritual like? Are you going to get a breakfast in, shower? Are you getting coffee? What is all of this like before you leave where you're sleeping?
Well, usually I wake up. I don't take a shower, but I do clean myself. I try to eat immediately. I start eating some simple sugar, maybe gummies, maybe some bread. I try to talk to the people from the hotel or the place I'm staying to arrange everything the day before, so they have everything settled on table before I wake up, so I don't have to wait for anything. But most of my nutrition goes for coffee and simple sugars. I mean, some bread, some white bread, sugar, everything with sugar, and that's it. Maybe some power bar or carb bar, and try to drink a lot. And the day before the race, also drink a lot of fluids. And on the morning, I usually take a bottle of also fluids for the race and for the transition and before going to the beach.
Okay. So you get down to transition. How far is it? Walking distance?
Yes, it's a walking distance, and it's like 2 blocks from the beach, the transition area. Okay. So it's very close. It's like 300 meters, I guess.
Okay. So you head down there. What are you doing in transition? I know you're putting about 100 PSI on your wheels, putting your nutrition on your bike. What else are you doing in transition?
Usually check that everything is in place. I usually go and try to find some spots to know where my stuff is, because it's all hanging in some bag. So I try to find some how do you say, some thing to know where everything is.
Markers, identifiers, something like that.
Yeah, markers, visually markers. So I know where everything is, and make sure that everything's in place, that it didn't, that the bag is still closed, and that's it. I just power on my Garmin. I use a Garmin for the bikes, and one for in my wrist. So then I just go to the beach and wait for my weight start.
Nice. So you get down to the swim start. What's your mindset like for this race? Do you have an idea of how you're feeling for the race from a confidence level? What are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm trying to, when I go to this race, I try to feel relaxed, I know that it's hard to get the perfect race, so I try to control what I can control, and do everything, go over in my mind every step of everything I need to do, and one step at a time, don't get overwhelmed with things, just do the swim, try to avoid physical contact, get out of the beach, run to transition. I try to take it easy and not think too much about a particular thing. Try to be relaxed.
Wow. So the cannon goes off for the professionals, and then is this a rolling start?
Yes. Before it was a mass start, I have a background as a swimmer, because I used to be a swimmer on my young days. I was a very good swimmer. I was in the national team, and nowadays they are making, because of the amount of athletes, it has grown, and nowadays they had to make it a rolling start. Unfortunately for me, the rolling start, has taken, a bad. It hasn't worked very well for me because my age group is in, almost at last. So the pros start like at 8 a.m. and my age group starts like at 8:45. So it's a very big gap and a lot of people to pass.
So it's an age group start then.
Yeah,
kind of like a wave start with depending on.
They try to separate athletes with similar levels. That means they know that this race for many years has this. It was very unpopular for the drafting, So what they worked out is a way to separate the athletes from similar levels. So that's why they changed the wave starts, and they don't usually put the fastest guys on the front. Sometimes they put it in the back, and even all women start before my age group. So if you're a good swimmer, you get blocked all the swim. I used to swim this course on around 26, 27 minutes. And nowadays I swim it like 31 because it's really hard to pass all the people
I mean, I know there's drafting problems in Kona. I know you've been there twice. So why would they not do the same thing at Kona with this rolling wave start like they're doing here?
I guess because it's more spectacular.
Oh, so it's special.
I think it's in Kona, they have changed it. Some, before it was a really big mass start. Nowadays they separate women, pro men, and now I guess in 2012 they all age groupers were starting at the same time. Now they have separated women from men. And yes, I think it's more for the show. It's very chaotic. I have terrible memories from the start in Kona.
The drafting in Kona is terrible.
Yeah, it's really terrible.
But
yeah.
If they actually did something to prevent the drafting, I mean, and made it less of an entertainment piece, but more of a fair race for those competing, it would be a better race to experience rather than just watch.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess the main point here is the amount of people racing. These races have become so popular. So many people want to go and race. There's the commercial side of it also. So it's difficult to avoid this drafting effect. I mean, it's for the ones that want to race fairly. It's really annoying, but I guess you have to go just accept it and try to be play by the rules. You don't have any options.
Right. So I know the water here is pretty chilly on this day. How does the swim go for you? I know you got done in just over 31 minutes.
Yeah. They make the starts 2 athletes every 2 seconds. The first 400 meters were okay, not too many people in the front, but then I got to a point where I started to get everyone in front and trying to pass everyone. Then you start to zigzag instead of swimming straight. So I would say that the only thing that I really hate about this race is the swimming, because I cannot swim comfortable. I mean, you need to work on your skills of passing people, and also on the way back to the beach. Usually, at this time of the day, in the morning, the sun also it's in your eyesight, so it is a little annoying. But because you have too many people in front of you, you just go with the crowd, so you never get lost. But yeah, it's the swim it wasn't that good.
Right. So you get out of the swim. Is there sand right out of the swim out?
Yeah, they have sand. They put some carpet in the from the water exit all the way to the transition zone, so you don't really walk on the sand too much. It's a little climb, but not really hard. Then it gets into concrete, also with the carpet, so it's not terrible. It's okay, and it's really quick. It's not a big deal.
Nice. So you get to T1. You're in T1 for just over 2 minutes before you're out on the bike. How does T1 go for you?
Well, they have wetsuit strippers in the entrance of the T1, so it's very convenient. Then you pick up your bag. They have chairs for you to put your stuff. Then you drop your bag with your wetsuit, and then you just run for the bike. Then go to the exit and mount your bike.
Okay. So you get out on the bike ride. How does the first 10 to 15K go?
Well, this year I wasn't very lucky. The road on the section which is in the downtown, it's not very good. It's in not the perfect conditions. There are some potholes, not big, but it certainly makes the bike, tremble, move a little. And actually my aero drink, my air bottle went off, just, by the end of the road, before it started to get smooth. And,
you had to stop and go get it.
I had to stop. I decided to stop. I think I lost 1 minute there, but I think it was the right decision.
Oh, for sure, because that's your nutrition. If you don't get it, it's going to be a bad day.
Yeah, I usually carry 2 bottles. One is in the front R bar, and the other one is in the fuel cell. I have a specialized chip bike. So, but I didn't want to start the race with with this thing in my head. I just wanted to do it with without worrying about getting the nutrition. So,
wow.
So
So as far as the hills go here, I know this course has just over 2,800 feet of gain.
Mm-hmm.
How was this for you for the first 15K?
The first 10, 15K, it starts with a false flat. It starts to grow. It eventually it gets I would say around 2-3% incline. But it's only for the first 20 minutes and 30 minutes of the race. Then you get a downhill, and then basically it's flat rolling course. For this race this year, the winds were the problem.
Really?
We had strong winds. On the way to the first half of the bike course, the first 45K, we had very strong winds. I went with my power, I didn't want to lose I kept calm. I mean, I work on my plan. I follow my watts. I knew that the pace was horrible, but I knew it was horrible for everyone. So I stick to my plan, and knowing that the the winds were messing up the race. At some point of I would say, around 22K on the bike, two guys passed me, very strong. And at that moment, I decided to, engage. I said, okay, enough. I need to suffer a little more to make the race I want. So I try to follow them, not draft, but have them at the site. And, I stick with them, I would say, almost to the turnaround. And that's the way it went for the first half.
Wow. So I know there are some people that use a disc here, but you didn't. Would you use a disc if you had it?
Yeah. Actually, I never have used a disc wheel. I tried to rent one, but I couldn't. Probably because this time I was feeling more confident on my bike. I wanted to try, this new setup, but because I also think that it's not good to try new things on race day, I didn't go for it. But with more time, probably I would have tried it. Use this wheel.
Nice. So I know the water bottles that they have on the race course are small versus the normal size like they have at Kona, for instance. Was this an issue for you?
No, actually, for this race, I didn't use the aid stations.
Okay.
I carried 2 bottles. One bottle and my fuel cell, and that was enough for me. I guess probably would go for 1 aid station. So no, I don't think it was should be a problem for anyone racing here.
Okay. Now on the bike course, did you see a lot of flats?
Not really. Maybe 3-4 guys, not too much. The road is hard. It's not soft. That doesn't mean that it's with potholes. No, but the road is hard. It's you get a lot of vibration, and it gets a little uncomfortable after a while.
So it's bumpy.
Yeah, it's a little bumpy, and but it's not all the course. It's from a certain point. Most of it is bumpy, but from you get out of the town to the, I would say, the first big intersection you have, then it changes to a bumpy road. Before it's very soft, and it feels good. So yeah, but it's definitely an issue if you're not very comfortable riding on hard roads.
So how does the quality of road compare to Kona?
Kona is like heaven. It's very soft in Kona, so here it's it's the opposite. Here it's like I said before, it's not potholes. Well, there are some, but they all are marked. Sometimes they put people with volunteers with flags, showing where the place is with the pothole. But compared to Kona, no, this is the opposite. Here it's hard, but not terrible. You need to get a little used to hard roads, but it's not soft. No, not like Kona. Kona, it's really wonderful.
Nice. So as far as the second half of the bike goes, how is your strategy and nutrition plan coming along, and how are you feeling?
Okay. Well, when I got to the turnaround, I was very frustrated because of the pace I was making, not because of the watts I was putting, because I was very close to what I wanted to go. But I really felt frustrated because it was very slow, and I was wondering, okay, maybe it's the wind. I feel the wind. Maybe when I make the turnaround, the wind is gonna be tailwind. So I was hoping for that, and actually we got that, and I made a lot of time on the way back. And also on the way, on the first half, I didn't feel really comfortable on the bike. I was feeling like my legs weren't feeling too smooth. I mean, a little hard. But on the turnaround, I don't know if it was the speed or motivation. But I started to feel very, very good. Everything felt great. And I started to push. And actually, my power profile made for power. I was very, very close to what I put in the first half. So I did a very good in terms of how do you say? I did almost the same amount of power on the way back than on the way in. So I'm feeling very good. When I got to T2, I was feeling very strong. I passed many people, and they couldn't keep up with me. So I was very happy that I was making the time also.
Wow.
Actually, when I got to T2, I was surprised because when I saw my bike split, I thought, okay, man, to make up this time, I really had to go very fast. I didn't watch too much the speed I was going. I just follow what I was feeling, and I was feeling strong. So I just went for the fill. I didn't stop too much to see what pace I was going.
Wow. So with your bike, are you wanting to hit a certain pace? Or are you wanting to hit a certain speed, cadence? What are you wanting to hit on the bike ride?
I usually work with the numbers, with power, train with power, and that was the strategy, go for the power. I had a certain power I wanted to hit. I was very close on the first half, on the second half, also very close. Try to keep my cadence high, around 90, a little above, a little below, but around 90. And I don't usually look too much at the speed I'm making. Just concentrate on the cadence and on the power I'm making.
Okay. So whenever you get to T2, you're in there for just over 3 minutes, almost 4 minutes before you're out onto the run. How does the first few minutes of your run go? What's the atmosphere like? What do you see? What do you smell? What is it like?
After going out of transition?
Yes.
I was feeling good because I knew I had a bike split. I knew that my competition was coming because some guys are strong runners, and they are lousy swimmers. So I knew they were coming, and I had to start running fast. So I start very strong, trying to make the best effort I could hold for the first section of the run.
Wow. So what is it like whenever you're getting out onto the run course? Is there a lot of people? What do you see?
Yeah.
What's it like there?
Yeah, this race it's very important here in this town. So very spectator friendly. You have to make 3 loops on all around the city. It's very hard. I mean, tough. You have half of each loop is with very steep climbs, very steep downhills. So and then there's one section where you go around the main street, and it's very, very crowded of people. They are cheering up all the athletes. So it's very cool. It's very, very It's one of the hardest runs, but also very nice because everyone is out there cheering for you.
Wow. So as far as the first, say, 6K, say 8K, how is this going for you?
Each loop has like 7K. The first half with these downhills. You go into a peninsula where it's like a private place in this town. Where it's very beautiful. They have very you have to your right you have the lake, and to the left you have a lot of vegetation and a lot of shades, but also the climbs are very tough. So the first 3K are very hard. Then you get into the city, and there it's all flat. To finish the first loop, I started hard because I wanted to keep away from the guys that were coming. So the first loop was a little hard for me. And once one of the guys passed me, I tried to keep up with him as much as I could, but I knew that I just couldn't because it was too much for me. So I decided to
stay. And he was gone.
Yeah, and I was, I checked my heart rate, and I really was going the best I could. And I tried to keep up a little bit with him, but I knew that if I would go with him, I would have walked later. So I tried to hold the pace as much as I could, without monitoring more the pace, but monitoring my heart rate, because I knew where was my limits in terms of effort. So I tried to go and keep the heart rate in the same level for the entire race, for the entire run.
So it seems like you're using heart rate coupled with a verification process of how you're feeling and knowing how close to your limits you're going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for this race, I prefer to go monitoring my heart instead of going to a particular pace, because of the downhills and the uphills. The pace changes much, so you don't get to run as fast as you would like. So I guess the best strategy is to keep a certain heart rate and see how it goes. Try to climb the hills with short steps and keep the cadence high, and on the downhills try to also to watch it for the with the cadence, not make very big strides. So yeah, definitely you need to. I prefer to work with the heart rate in this particular course. If we would run on a flat course, probably I would go for the pace. But in this case, for this particular course, I prefer to go with the heart rate.
Okay. So how are the aid stations here?
Aid stations here, well, you have aid stations all around the city section. Also in the peninsula where are the hills. In the peninsula you have one on the way in and one on the way back. So it's pretty well covered. They also have on the city section that it's not very shaded. And at that time of the day it gets a little hot. Not crazy, but it's hot. You get some. They put some sprinkles where they throw you water. So if you want to get refreshed, you can go through that part and get a little wet. But it's well covered. There are a lot of volunteers giving you water, Coke, and Gatorade or whatever other fluids they have.
Nice. So, as far as the run course goes, what is something that you would tell someone to be aware of that hasn't done this run course before?
Oh, well, for this race, it's definitely a tough run course. You need to get prepared. You need to do a lot of strength work, a lot of hills, a lot of downhills, and you need to work on strength for this particular course. It's not easy because you're already very tired after the bike, and it's 3 loops. Each loop takes you a bit of you, and you get a little tired after every loop. So you need to definitely work on the strength for this kind of run.
Okay. So on this run course, on this day, what was the funniest thing that you saw?
The funniest thing, I guess, well, it's very spectator friendly, and there are some areas, well, it's, crowd all over the place. So it's, I would say, almost all the road is with people on both sides. And sometimes you get to see some funny things. People put speakers with very loud music. They put some, posters with some phrases and funny things. And it's very nice. It cheers you up, especially on the tough climbs. They put something special. I can't tell you what specifically, but they sometimes make you laugh, or they cheer you, they run with you. It's very, very good that the people are so involved with the athletes in the run.
Wow. So as far as the run course goes, whenever you start getting to kilometers, say 15 through 21, how is this going for you? How are you feeling? You cramping, GI issues? What is this like?
Not cramping, but I would say that, I'm struggling with my pace. I don't want to lose the pace. I monitor my heart, and I try to stay there. When you start to feel the pain, you start to run slowly, but I try to keep up with the pace. In the beginning, the first loop, the second loop, you start to when you finish the hills and the downhills, you want to get to the flats, but later on the flats also feel so hard. So it's a bit of a struggle. I was struggling in the end. But I think I did okay. I did a very good run. Nice. Yeah, but you definitely struggle. And also the crowd helps you a lot because they are always cheering for you. And it's a nice feeling to get the support when you are feeling so terrible.
Wow. So as far as the last, say, kilometer of the race, what is this like for you?
The last kilometer, I was feeling very tired, muscularly. My legs were hurting a lot. But I knew it was so close. I just needed to, to try to struggle a little more. And when you make the turn to the beach, it's because the finish line is at the beach. And it's all over, and then you forget about the pain and everything, and it's all glory.
Right. So how was the finish line here?
Well, it's a nice setup. They make a very nice setup for the finish line. It's a carpet that goes all the way to the beach, and you make a right turn, and then you get the famous Ironman finish with all the stuff. Everyone is cheering. They call your name and everything, and it's well organized. It makes it special, and it's definitely one of the nicest thing in the run.
Wow. So whenever you get done with the race, what do you do next after you finish?
Well, like I said before, they make you feel very special. They work a lot. The athletes feel comfortable. They have a lot of options in the recovery area. They have massage and a lot of people working with massage. Do you get a massage or you eat? They have like food trucks inside the tent. It's a very big tent. They have many options for you to eat and recover. And before, I guess this year they improved in the massage area. Many volunteers, and they give you a very good service for that, and it's all free. And you get also your finisher shirt, you get your finisher medal, and it really, the organization really works hard to make this race very special.
Wow. So how was your recovery process?
Well, I took the massage. I asked the volunteer to bring something for my ankle that was aching. I ate something. I don't eat too much. I don't feel like eating after this hard effort. Usually I feel like sick in the first half an hour. So I just try to drink a lot of fluids, water, Gatorade, maybe some Coke. And then later when I leave the tent, I start to slowly eat a little more, and at night I want to eat everything.
Gosh.
Yeah, but usually that's what happens to me when I finish a hard race. I don't feel like eating too much in the first half an hour.
Wow. So if I'm going to come down there next year and do this race from America, what is something that you would tell me to make sure I do in the city before I leave?
Well, I would definitely recommend this race. It's one of the most beautiful races, well organized. If you are coming from the States or other place, there's this great option of coming here with endurance sport travel. They make everything very easy for you to come here. Ken Gla, who manages this company, takes care of everything and makes everything very smooth. So if you are a little worried about the logistics for this race, I would definitely recommend coming with them. I'm not trying to sell you this idea, but I've tried his service, and maybe for people that come from the States, it's a little overwhelming, to come here to a different country with a different language. So I would definitely recommend, if you want to make it easy for you, to come with someone that knows the race very well, and with the family. Because if you come from the States and you want to come here, I don't think you're going to come just for the race. So it's a place where you can do a lot more after the race. So from that perspective, I would recommend coming with someone that has to offer more things. That's my very... I think that's my advice. You can come alone or by yourself, People are very friendly here. They help you a lot. I don't think you get in problems or trouble, but I would definitely consider coming with someone who knows the race and the country well.
Okay. Now, for the safety of athletes, do you feel like this is a safe city?
Yeah, it's very safe. The city is very. It's on vacation season, so it's very crowded. But people here are very friendly. It's like almost every place, you have to take care of some things. You want to make sure you don't carry too much money with you, the usual stuff. But it's a safe city. You can be, at every place. It's all very walking distance. You don't need to move too much. I wouldn't recommend renting a car because, like I said, it's all very close. So it's very safe. You can walk everywhere, and this security. There's police. There's. I wouldn't say it's very safe. It's not unsafe. It's safe.
Wow. So, what about this race would you actually change to make it a better race if you could?
Well, like I said before, the only thing I don't like is the swim. Unfortunately, because it has become such a big race and many athletes want to come here, they had to work to make it better for the entire race, and that meant sacrificing a little bit the swim. So if they could improve the swim, that would be one of the good things of this event. Most of the people that have done this race this year, they all have the same opinion that the swim is not the best, but in terms of because of the rolling start. But it's a beautiful place. The lake is beautiful. Besides that, I would say the race is great.
Do you feel like they make it a rolling start because there's so many inexperienced swimmers trying to do this sport?
Yeah, definitely. Too many athletes, too crowded. So I don't think there's another way. I wish there was another way to make it more smooth without sacrificing the course. But unfortunately,
what if they did a mass start for people that were advanced in their swimming skills, and then they said, "Hey, if you're a newbie, you get to do the rolling start after everybody's gone."
Oh, I wish they could try. They have tried many things, many formulas. Before it was a mass start, then they changed it by rolling start by time. I think 1 or 2 years they did that. So the fastest guys would stay in the front. But I guess that somehow didn't work.
People lie about their times.
What they said is that they make the rolling start like this because it makes the bike with less drafting. I don't know if that's so. Not sure if that's so accurate, but that's the explanation they gave. Someone asked in the briefing. Someone really asked, "Hey, why are you making this? It has no sense to make some fast age group start in the back. Why are you making this?" And they said, "We, from our experience, from IRONMAN, they said this is the best way. So there's less drafting on the bike. I'm not sure, but well, I guess this time I didn't see as much drafting as some other years before. So probably I think it works, but you need to sacrifice something.
Right. Man, so we covered quite a bit about your race, man. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Well, if you consider coming to this race, you're going to have a really wonderful experience. It's a very beautiful place. It's, besides the race, it's a nice opportunity to meet a different culture. We have so many things you can do in Pucon. You know, they have many trail, volcano climbs. They have, rafting, bike rides. They have many things to do besides the race. Also, many people would do like, after the race, the next day they would go to climb the volcano. And, it's like a tradition. I haven't done it yet, but.
What? So
yeah,
you've done this race 3-4 times now, and you haven't done it yet?
Yeah, because, you know.
But wait. It's a tradition now.
Yes, I always promise myself I will do it, but, I end up, you know, going back home, fast, you know, because schedule or other things, family, whatever. But, that's something I need to do, definitely. But, like I said, this is a very, very beautiful town, a very beautiful place. And, you need to, if you want to do something different, you know, a different race, an exotic race, and a different destination, this is the one. You need to come here.
Wow. So I know we didn't really touch on this much, and you might not have much experience with this. So you can say, hey, I don't know. That's completely fine. For Americans that are going to be traveling to come and do this race, do they need to get a visa?
To Chile, no, you don't know. You don't need to. You just come with your passport and that's it.
Okay. Just figure out how to ask. So what's next for you, man?
For me, well, I have Ironman Santa Rosa in May. I have some cycling races on March. And then I plan to do a cycling trip in Europe, in Spain on September. That's a 7-day trip of riding the bike, crossing Spain. And then on December, I'm going to the famous second edition IRONMAN.
Wow.
Ironman race.
Well, you have fun down there. I know a guy named Jack Cartwright that just did that earlier last year, late last year. Man, I can't think. And he said it was just amazing.
Yeah. Well, do you mean the IRONMAN?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a very good first edition. You know, they try to do the best. You know, they came from Europe to audit the race, and they did it so well that, you know, they went for the second edition, and we expect that the race to be growing in popularity and you know, quality with each edition. So, because I started to do this kind of races 2 years ago, I'm definitely going to do this one that is in my own country.
Right. So, what races are on your bucket list? You've already done Kona. You've already done Norseman. Like, what else is on your bucket list, man?
I like to do Roth. That's one on my bucket list. Challenge Roth. I want to do. Besides that, you know, it changed a little my mind because I used to do hot races, and I'm not very good with humidity and hot. So, but Roth is one of the important races I want to do. Next year, I don't think so, but the following year, yes. And also as extreme races, extreme full Ironman races. I got into this new kind of franchise that is growing up in popularity each year. So probably I will sign up for Swissman. I have done Norseman. I have done Keltman. I will do Patagonman this year, and I will try to get the lottery for Swissman next year.
Wow. So as far as your dream for the sport and what you want to accomplish in the end, what do you want to accomplish, and what's your dream for the sport?
I feel I'm very lucky. I have some issues in the past. A few years ago, it was over for me for running. So I would say my journey in this sport has become like a life thing, overcoming obstacles. And that's the way I see it now. I'm competitive. I like to do, race hard and get some, the best finishes I can do. But I also look into the experience of finishing hard races like this extreme. That's why I do I like more the extreme races now, because they give you a different kind of experience, and you get more in touch with yourself and with the environment, with everything else, rather than going for a particular time or position. So I have been evolving now that I probably because I have already done Kona, which is one of the dreams that everyone has, and coming for the second time to Kona was really something special for me, because I was really I didn't know if I would come again after the things that happened to me in the past.
Right, man. So as far as how people can follow you and reach out to you, I know you have a website and you also are on Instagram. How can people follow you and reach out to you, man?
Well, I have you can check my Instagram. It's Neto Sauma. That's my name. And I also have a website where like a blog where I post everything about the races. There you can check all the races I have done, Ironman races. It's treesauma.com, the address, trysauma.com. And then I'll be happy to to share any questions you have. I have some time in the sport, so I know a lot. I don't know everything, but I certainly have some experience and overcoming difficulties too.
Wow. Well, Andreas, it's been great talking to you, and I only have one more question for you, and that's, what's your definition of a perfect race?
Definition of perfect race is the race where you can control the things, most of the things. You can have no issues on nutrition, no issues on the swim, no issues on transition, no issues. Sometimes it's very hard, and sometimes the perfect race is overcoming the difficulties that come within. Sometimes the plan, I would say, doesn't come as you want, and then overcoming those difficulties is also a perfect race, because if you quit or you give up, then it's you don't you lose the purpose of racing and doing the sport. So a perfect race, it's no issues, but also overcoming the issues.
Wow. Well, Andres, hey, it's been great talking to you, and I look forward to following you in the future. And thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I've enjoyed this. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry, and hope to hear more of your podcast.
Thank you. Have a good day, okay?
Thanks
for tuning in today. I hope you were able to learn something from today's episode. If you enjoyed the show, please take a minute to leave a review on iTunes or share it with a friend. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you'd like to see pictures from this athlete's race, learn more about who I am, what I'm doing, or be on the show yourself to share your story, check out my website at CoachTerryWilson.com. Until next time, continue the pursuit.